The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
And good morning, Kern County. It is 5 a.m. on this Thursday morning. I'm Alex Fisher alongside Chris Burton, and we begin this morning with a multi-million-dollar expansion to help Bakersfield's homeless population. The City Council approved just more than $6 million last night for the Brundage Lane Navigation Center. The 150-bed emergency shelter opened in October 2020. The new funding will allow for the construction of 2 new dorms for men. There are also plans to add more pet kennels, increasing the capacity from 15 to 50 pets allowed at the shelter. Also on the list, construction of a new recuperative care dorm. And that is for those related from the hospital, but not well enough to go into the general shelter. There are also plans to triple the dining area space and add an outdoor recreation area, among other things. The city plans to use state and federal funding for the expansion project.
Now to one of our signature issues here at TV 17, pedestrian safety. A new study by nonprofit Smart Growth America says Bakersfield is the second most dangerous city in the nation for pedestrians. And this year, it's been deadlier than ever, especially on Union Avenue. 17's Moses Small with what's being done to make that area safer.
The current state of Union Avenue is a threat to the health and safety of our community.
It's no secret Union Avenue has a safety problem. 3 Bakersfield City Council members teamed up Wednesday, urging Caltrans to fix the road.
We got to calm the traffic. There's no reason for people to go so fast. We have to improve the lighting for pedestrians along Union Avenue. We have to ensure that we have sufficient crosswalks.
There are no bicycle lanes. It's got a lot of pedestrian traffic, and it wasn't designed for a lot of pedestrian traffic. This is a very difficult intersection. It's got 5 or 6, streets coming and going different ways. And throughout the nation, roundabouts are deemed to be safer now.
This comes just days after a woman died at the intersection of Union Avenue and 20th Street, and that's far from the only devastating crash this year. Kern County has seen a record 53 pedestrian fatalities. 7 were killed on Union Avenue.
And we know that there are dollars available. State has a surplus budget, so funding is not the issue. It's just a matter of will.
Moses Small, 17 News.
Caltrans told 17 News earlier this year that it's aware of the safety issues on Union Avenue and plans to take action, but city leaders say they've waited long enough. Council members plan to send a formal request to the state asking for changes to Union Avenue.
In your 17 Court Watch this morning, prosecutors yesterday filed 3 felony charges against a former McFarland High School basketball coach who allegedly tried to arrange a meeting with a minor for sex. Fernando Pruneda, who has a prior conviction in a similar case, was arrested last month and is free on $75,000 bail. He is scheduled for arraignment on Monday. Pruneda pleaded no contest last year to arranging a meeting with a minor to commit a sexual offense back in 2018 and was sentenced to 2 years in prison and sex offender registration.
Meantime, results of a Kern County grand jury investigation state that Delano needs to change the way it handles city management. The report says the Delano City Council should be converted from an at-large to a district-based city council. An at-large city council is elected by the entirety of the city, while a district-based council is split into districts with each member representing that area, much like the city of Bakersfield. The grand jury says this change could help ensure all demographics of the city are properly represented in government. The report also found a lack of cooperation between the city council and other city officials has the potential to, quote, stall the progress Delano has made.
Bakersfield Police Department will conduct a DUI and driver's license checkpoint Saturday night at an undisclosed location within the city. BPD says the checkpoint will be set up between 6 p.m. and 2 a.m. Officers will check for signs of alcohol or drug impairment and proper licensing. According to BPD, research shows well-publicized and proactive DUI patrols can reduce alcohol or drug-related crashes by up to 20%. The CHP Bakersfield office announced it's planning to hold a similar checkpoint tomorrow night.
Greenlawn Cemetery held its annual wreath-laying ceremony yesterday, honoring the lives of more than 500 veterans with unmarked graves. Greenlawn worked together with the Kern County Veterans Department to honor those unknown soldiers. A plan is in motion to track down the information for the fallen veterans and get them proper headstones.
In coordination with Mr. Lamar and Greenlawn and the Kern County Veteran Service Department, we've made ourselves responsible for making sure that we're able to identify all the headstones and veterans that are laid to rest that require a headstone of some sort.
The group of veterans spearheading the project say the pandemic has slowed down the process tremendously. As of now, they're on track to get about one headstone a year, but hope to speed things up soon. Greenlawn, meantime, will have all the fees waived for placing and maintaining those headstones.
Meantime, we're saddened to report this morning the matriarch of Bakersfield's renowned Basque culinary scene has died. Maya Mattia, who immigrated from French Basque country in 1947 and opened wool growers with her husband JB in 1954, died yesterday morning, according to restaurant employees. She and JB honed their skills as cooks and servers at the Pyrenees Cafe and the Noriega Hotel before setting out on their own. The extended Mattia family spawned several local restaurants over the years, helping establish Bakersfield as a Basque cuisine hotspot enjoyed by celebrities and field workers alike. Mai long ago passed along day-to-day operations of wool growers to her daughter, Jenny, and granddaughter, Christiane. Maya Mattia was 92 years old.
Now to the coronavirus pandemic, hospitals around the country are being slammed by a new COVID surge. Hospital admissions up nearly 8% and deaths up 5%. That's just over the past week alone. The Delta variant is still doing the most damage, but Omicron is being detected in more and more states. And while medical experts say the current vaccines appear less effective than Omicron, they do a good job protecting against it when combined with a booster shot. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest.
This morning, a worsening pandemic picture threatening to disrupt family holiday plans. Health officials believe Thanksgiving gatherings contributed to a rise in COVID cases. Philadelphia's health commissioner now out with this stark warning.
Please do not get together with other households for Christmas, or if you do, keep those gatherings small. It's just too dangerous.
Hey, you guys need a hand?
A disheartening message nearly 2 years into the pandemic, with hospitalizations and deaths up sharply as medical workers prepare for cases of the highly contagious Omicron variant to start doubling every 2 days here in the U.S.
Right now, on a regular basis, we are stretched in.
But White House COVID advisors say there is a way out.
If we didn't have these tools, I would be telling you to really be worried. But we have tools. So get vaccinated, get boosted.
Top health officials now believe the current vaccines combined with a booster shot work well against Omicron.
At this point, there is no need for a variant-specific booster.
Medical experts working to build confidence in the vaccines amid high-profile echoes of our pandemic past. Disruptions in pro sports with more than 100 NBA, NFL, and NHL players and coaches testing positive in recent days. And several universities in the Northeast moving final exams online. Despite the recent reversals, the White House says the nation's schools and businesses will remain open while urging masks again in indoor public settings. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Now to the latest on the coronavirus pandemic here locally, and our health department reported 222 new cases yesterday and 1 new death. That brings our death toll from COVID-19 to 1,880 lives lost. And tens of thousands of people have been infected with the virus since vaccines became widely available to people in our area. State data shows 118 people are in the hospital with more severe symptoms of the virus. 33 more are fighting for their lives in the ICU.
5:37 is your time now. From our follow-up file, the family of a brother and sister who were killed when a suspected DUI driver hit them on the sidewalk near the girls' school bus drop-off spot is inviting the public to join them for a candlelight memorial service for the brother this Saturday.
Yeah, last Wednesday, 19-year-old J.J. Malone and 10-year-old Kaylee Brown, as well as their family dog Roxy, were killed in that crash on Panama Lane in South Bakersfield. The informal service for J.J. Malone is scheduled for Saturday at 5 p.m. in front of Mechanics Bank Arena on Truxton Avenue in downtown Bakersfield. A separate memorial for both the brother and sister is scheduled for December 28th at 5 p.m. at the scene of the tragedy on Panama Lane, a block east of South 8th Street. Details of a more formal service are still pending. Meantime, donations are pouring in for the family of those killed. If you would like to donate, you can find more information on our website, kget.com.
Making news around the state, the Department of Justice has announced charges against 3 companies involved in the pipeline leak off the coast of California earlier this year. Amplify Energy Corporation, Beta Operating Corporation LLC, and San Pedro Bay Pipeline Company have all been charged with 1 misdemeanor count of negligent discharge of oil. The indictment alleges that despite getting several alarms, the companies continued to operate the damaged pipeline on and off, which continued for several hours. The indictment further alleges that some crew members hadn't been properly trained in the automated leak detection system, and they were operating the pipeline with an understaffed and fatigued crew.
From our Water Watchers file, the Kern County Water Agency is declaring a water supply emergency. That declaration follows the announcement earlier this month by the State Water Resources Department that farms and cities that contract with the State Water Project will receive no surface water from Northern California this year. That's the lowest allocation to start off a new water year in the history of the SWP. The agency says farmers will continue to rely on the groundwater basin to make up the shortage.
Education news now, and California's first ever Deputy Superintendent of Equity has resigned after a report showed he had been collecting more than $160,000 on the taxpayer's dime while living on the East Coast. Dr. Daniel Lee's resignation comes after Politico first reported that he is a Philadelphia resident who had been friends with State Superintendent Tony Thurmond for more than 2 decades. Lee, a psychologist and published author, was hired for the position when it was created in July of last year. It pays up to $180,000 in a taxpayer-funded salary. Politico reported Thurmond played a key role in Lee's hiring. The job was never posted, and the Department of Education officials could not say if anyone else even interviewed for the position. Lee's resume didn't show any previous experience in California or relationships with any school districts in the state.
It's good that he resigned because apparently this was against the law that he was hired in the first place. We also need an investigation into exactly how he got on the taxpayer dime in the first place.
The Department of Education says in the coming weeks it will begin the candidate search to fill Lee's position.
The organizers of a money grab for teachers are apologizing for the event. It happened Saturday night during a break in a junior hockey league game in South Dakota. You may have seen this video. It went viral. 10 teachers were on their hands and knees trying to grab as many dollar bills as they could within 5 minutes from a carpet at center ice. Social media blasted the event, saying it was demeaning to those instructors. One critic said the state has to do better for its teachers when it comes to education funding. As a way to make up for it, organizers say they will provide an additional $15,500 to area teachers.
Back here at home, the Greenfield Union School District Board of Trustees yesterday took action to rename Plantation Elementary School. The board voted 5-0 in favor of the new name, Prosperity Elementary School. The mascot will be the eagle. The name of Plantation Elementary School has been an evolving topic of concern among the school community in recent years due to the name's reminder of social injustices. The district began discussions regarding renaming the school in late 2019.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.